Hey everybody, today I wanted to talk to you about, or talk with you about our backstories and who we are. Because one of the conversations that I had this morning with a gentleman who is considering joining the Man Up project that I'm running is the power of our story. Now, many of you will be aware of the new book by Dave Gerhardt, which is called Founder Brand. And we have a lot of marketing companies tell us that we need to write a book. These are PR agencies, business coaches. But one of the things that a lot of them have never written a book. And any book that they have written has been on the superficial level. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I mean that, here is a business technique. This is why you should use it. Here is a strategy, blah, 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 blah. But who is the person behind the book? Who is the person behind the business? Why did you set up the business in the first place? And how does that relate to who you are as a person and what you're building for yourself, your family, and your community? What's your legacy? Because the thing is, we all go into business for a particular reason. We all evolve, and there are passions that we have deep within us, or things that we're afraid of, that actually led us to setting up our businesses. Now, one of the things that this gentleman and I were discussing was the upsetting of a family member. When we tell our stories, who are we upsetting? And also the ability to be able to write a chapter within a book. A lot of people have very powerful stories. My role when I work with people as an author coach isn't just about getting them to, write a book. It's so much more than that. It's so much deeper. I used to if I can get a 4-year-old boy to write a story, I can get adults to write a story. And I can get them to do it powerfully and in a way that's so respectful. Because I would never do anything that would encourage somebody to destroy their family. Family first, always. And the thing is, when people are afraid of sharing who they are and being who they are, it tells us there's something very wrong with the world. It tells us that we live in a world where we have to play and conform to other people's rules instead of our own. And I've never been much of a person to play by the rules, which is probably one of the reasons why I went into business in the first place. My business, my rules, or as my mum used to say, my house, my rules. And I'm pretty sure that most of you have heard that one before. The other great thing about working on a book and writing your own story is it actually gives people the opportunity to get to know who they're working with, what you stand for, who you stand for, who you stand with, and what you are prepared to do to make your business a success. Now, one of the great things about this is it's not just about teaching other people what to do or showing them how to do something. It's about calling in the people who you were born to network with and change the world with. It's about working with people who are aligned with who you are. Now, a lot of us at the moment are talking about communities. And as I was saying to my friend Pablo the other day, I've been building communities and regenerating communities for the last 23 years. And I do find it very interesting that a lot of people are now jumping on this community bandwagon. I'm like, well, it's taken you bloody long enough. But, bleeding edge technology was the first business I started 23 years ago. So, there is that. And when you're writing your story and you're doing it to actually help inspire hope and courage in people that don't feel brave enough to face life by themselves, or don't feel brave enough to go and seek a counsellor, or don't actually want to see a therapist. They don't know who to ask, but they are very happy to buy a book on their Kindle or go into a bookstore and buy a book, listen to a book if it's on audio. And if we overlook the power of a book and what that actually does for somebody, not just the writer but also the reader, then we're absolutely missing a trick. Now, a lot of people are just now sharing their stories or their life or their food or whatever on TikTok and Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, and they're all great, but your brain works in a very different way when you write something and when you read something. It activates a different part of the brain that gives you a much deeper, much more enriching learning experience. And because you're reading and you're doing it at your own pace, you get to have that time to process what you have just written. As a writer, when you're writing your story, you're actually getting to know yourself on a much deeper level. You're actually getting to know what it is that you want to achieve, what you want to say. And that's why I say that activism by pen is well thought out. When you're also working with me on these anthologies, what you're also doing is you're getting access to a network of people across the world that you would never have had access to before. And it's a powerful network of people, trust me on that. And we will be there supporting each other and holding each other in a space of camaraderie, family and community, because we can't get the book out unless everybody is on the page or everybody is on board. We have to make sure that we're all ready to launch at the right time. And if one of us hasn't got the skills or the courage or the confidence, then we all step up. We become a micro community, a very strong and powerful micro community, so that when we launch the book and we launch it out to the universe and it goes viral around the world, we have the impact of 4. Because every time someone reads a book, it has what I call the ripple effect of 4, because it will impact 4 people other than the reader directly, whether that is the children in the house or the people in the business or the family members. That's a very powerful thing that we're doing when we write a book and we release it out into the world. Your writing skills improve, so that helps you with your social media marketing and your emails. Always a benefit. And if we cannot believe in ourselves that we're actually going to make the money back that we're investing, then why are we even in business? And it reminds me of a lady who was going to buy a desk from me when I was selling everything up to come and do this journey around the world. The desk was only £100, sorry. It had cost a lot more than that. And she goes, I can't afford £100. I'm like, well, you're going to be sat at that desk making thousands, tens of thousands, possibly hundreds of thousands, possibly millions. And if you can't invest £100 in the desk that you're going to be sat at to build your business, you're going into it with the wrong mindset. And that's the thing, we're investing in marketing assets, we're investing in our legacy, we're investing in training, we're investing in our skill sets and our mindset and our confidence and our courage to show up as who we truly are. We're telling people, this is who I am and this is what I stand for. And there is no better marketing than that. And when you write, you really do get present. It's a very healing, very transformational process that people go through. So if you have been thinking about working with me or reaching out to me, then I suggest that you pick up the phone. Well, don't pick up the phone. Send me a message via my website, dawnbates.com, or send me a direct message on LinkedIn. And I will get back to you and let you know what anthologies we're working on. Or if you've got an idea for an anthology that you want someone like me, who's all inclusive and will kick your ass and make sure you get across that finish line with the courage and the confidence that you need, then you know what to do. I don't beg people. I stand here like a lighthouse, shining my beautiful light. Just like guiding the ships at sea to where they need to be, away from all the dangers. And I haven't written all of the books I've written and published the ones I've published on some of the content and the material that we've published without learning a thing or two about protecting you and making sure that when we put our content out there and our words out there, whatever word you want to use, we put our message out there and we create this legacy, we do it in one of the most beautiful ways possible, the most healing, transformational ways, not just for us, but for those who read it. We get to control our own narratives. we get to step up into the person we were born to be the role models for the people that need the role models that we are becoming, and we are. So there you go. The short one today. I've got work to do. I've got a book to publish and promote. Potent Power of Menopause, a culturally diverse perspective on feminine transformation. Beautiful book, powerful book. Go get it, dawnbates.com/menopause. Thank you. Ciao.